In the latest edition of We Are Turning the Page to 2028, we're bringing in Adam Gorney, one of our California national analysts. And Adam, take a picture right now because no players in the top 50 in the state of California are committed. This will not last long. So we're going to start here in the top 10. I mean, to see all 50 uncommitted in the state, this is pretty rare, and it won't last long, will it?
Yeah, no, it's actually incredible. The top 50 in 2027 are all committed, and none of the top 50 in 2028 are committed. So, like you said, Josh, take a picture because there are a lot of leaders, a lot of front runners for all these guys, but soon many will be coming off the board, I'm sure, especially as their junior seasons get going.
Yeah. So let's start with the number one player in the state for 2028, offensive tackle, Austin Atala. And he is 6'7", 290 pounds. The number 3 ranked offensive tackle in America. What's the latest intel on his recruitment early on?
Yeah, it's interesting because he has a lot of connections to the state of Texas and has basically been open about saying he wants to play there. Texas and Texas Tech are now the two schools to really watch if he were to go to Texas. He's also being pulled to USC kind of earlier. He's kind of a suburban kid, and so he wasn't crazy about the LA traffic. You know, they kept asking him to come down for spring practice, and he was getting stuck, in an hour-long bumper-to-bumper situation and wasn't crazy about it. But as he kept going, as he got to know the people and the coaching staff and got to see that defensive line and the offensive line that they're building, he became very interested in USC. But I still think that the Texas schools, Texas in particular, I talked with him once before Texas had even offered, and I said, is that the dream offer? He said, yeah, if they offer, it's going to be really, really tough to turn them down. So Texas is right there, but his grandparents live in Lubbock, which is a huge boon for the Red Raiders there. He also has some aunts that live there. He had just visited there, and every summer he goes to the state of Texas at a family ranch. So there are definitely some things about Texas and Texas Tech that are drawing him. USC will continue to recruit him until, signing day in 2028.
Yeah. All right, we're going to talk through the rest of the top 10 because all these players are uncommitted. Not going to hit on every guy, but I want to cue you in on a few that interest me. We'll move to Gage Weddle. We all know his father, famously of the NFL, great safety for the Baltimore Ravens, and now his son is coming out, and he is the number 2 ranked player in the state of California. He's the number 3 ranked safety in America. Gage Weddle, what is the early intel on his recruitment?
Yeah, 3 schools mainly, Georgia, Ohio State, Oklahoma. Those 3 have kind of separated themselves, but there's a second tier group that he calls, and Utah is definitely involved there. He loves the coaching staffs at Cal and UCLA. Miami is in the mix there. So I think that's kind of the group right now. Utah is interesting. One, he could follow in his dad's footsteps. I think he absolutely loves Morgan Scalley. So I think that's an upgrade in terms of coaches as he looks at this. And maybe Utah down the stretch does close this out and get him. But there's also a sense that maybe he wants to do his own thing. And following in your father's footsteps, especially one as successful as him, I think they're going back for the Arkansas game. So his father gets put into the Ring of Honor there. And that's kind of tough sometimes. So I think maybe Utah will stay in this very, very much. But Oklahoma, Ohio State, Georgia, I think the Buckeyes and the Bulldogs have the edge right now. But one thing that's going to be important with Weddle is early playing time and depth chart. If a school just brought in like 2 5-star safeties in 2027, I don't think that they're going to have much of a chance with him. So he's kind of taking that second level approach to his recruitment where it's not just kind of the NIL situation and which one he likes the best. He's definitely looking and digging deep into depth charts there. So I think that's going to play an important factor as we see safeties, even more safeties come off the board in 27.
All right, let's stay in Southern California. Lincoln Faalafi is a massive 6'8", 360-pound offensive tackle. Are the teams in state going to be able to keep him in state? That's the question here.
Yeah, what's interesting here is that he's 6'8", 360, and you think he couldn't move, but he's surprisingly mobile for someone that size. And when you kind of walk up onto him, he's just a massive human being. So every school in the country is going to be after him. I think he's going to be a guy who sees his recruitment even take off even more through this season. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Notre Dame is definitely one to watch early on, along with UCLA. but his mother has had visa issues getting here from New Zealand. So I think, he's definitely talked openly about missing her. And so I think that sort of reflects on the family dynamic there, that he's here with his father and his sister. The mother is coming, but does he leave and go away from them all that much? So I think that's the game UCLA is playing right now. USC is also involved, many other schools. He's also very close with Amaziah Siale, who just committed to LSU from Mission Viejo. So I think LSU is talking to him a lot more, and I think that's going to be also a big factor here. But I think right now, UCLA, Notre Dame are the two to watch.
All right, let's move on to the top quarterback in the state this cycle, Josiah Boyd. He's at Vista Del Lago, and he's 6'4", 175 pounds. Is this going to be a national recruitment?
Yeah, definitely. He is almost like a Jaden Daniels clone. I think that's really sort of the comp that you would have for him. He's tall and very lanky. So I think that's going to be interesting to see. Arizona State had him out recently, and Kenny Dillingham was talking him up in that sense. I think that's going to be intriguing, but it might be tough for the Sun Devils to stay involved, throughout this recruitment. Right now, it's Oregon and Ohio State, and I think Oregon has the lead. He's super close with that coaching staff. I think he loves the offense there, the situation after Dante Moore kind of opens up. And so we'll see how that kind of plays out. But then again, CJ Stroud is a Southern California quarterback. They've come out here and recruited as well as any team in the country, the Buckeyes, into Southern California. Yeah. So I think that's going to be an interesting one. Probably down the stretch, this is an Oregon-Ohio State battle.
All right. When it comes to the top 10, there's one more name I want to talk about, and that's Brandon Nash. Checking in at number 9. He's at St. John Bosco, a premier safety prospect, 6'1", 185. What's the latest on where he could end up?
Yeah, he's definitely a safety right now. Maybe kind of goes down into the box as he grows older and plays linebacker. But either way, he's going to be one of those hybrid players, sort of the that people love on defense now, guys that can kind of play all over, right, run and tackle. And so I think Ohio State, I was told this past weekend at the Battle at the Beach tournament, Ohio State is definitely number 1 on his list. He's really never hidden that. He wasn't the one who told me that, but the Buckeyes have been up there since he's taken multiple visits there. He's going to return this season. I would definitely watch Cal and UCLA, though. He's going to be at that season opener. It seems like every kid in California wants to go to that game to kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone and see both of those new teams on the field in Berkeley. Oklahoma is definitely involved. Arizona State, Washington. He has a bunch of teammates going to Washington, so I think that's going to be a big influence for him. But I think right now Ohio State is definitely the leader and the team to watch.
All right. Hey, you guys, you're the real recruiting experts. Talk to me and Adam about some of these top players in the state of California. Where do you think they're going to end up? Let us know. Put it in the comment section below.